Hi guys, happy Friday. Igor and Anu here with vinousreverie Wine Merchant. Thanks for joining us for another Facebook Live show for the Adventurous Wine Drinker. Do you want to say hi?
With a special guest.
Special guest. The little one is going to go to sleep soon. Okay. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to taste, how do you say that? Ares?
Yes, that's
Ares. It's a Gamma Noir from Willamette Valley in Oregon. So really excited to talk to you guys about this wine. Okay, Igor, why don't you tell us a little bit about Gamay?
Yeah, Gamay is a Burgundian grape. So it's from the Beaujolais region in southern Burgundy. It's an ancient grape, very distinctive grape, and also very unfashionable grape.
Unfashionable?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was introduced to the region, to the Greater Burgundy region, in the 14th century. But even that time, Pinot was considered, the king of the region, and a lot of the people did not want to have this less noble grape in there. In fact, I think the Duke of Burgundy wanted kind of to be
Oh
the grape
yes,
to be
I
dismissed.
do remember that.
Yeah, we
Yes.
discussed it in the past. Yeah.
The Duke of Burgundy had a vendetta against Gamay.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
funny. Okay.
So it's very precocious grape. It ripens early, so frequently it's prone to spring frost. But on the other hand, it's able to grow in cool climate. Like Beaujolais. It's also made a little bit in Loire Valley in central France. So that's kind of one of its strengths, is that it's able to grow in cool climates, just like its very close cousin Pinot Noir.
Okay.
So they have a lot of similarities.
And we're doing this wine, and kind of the next couple wines we're doing for our tastings is Thanksgiving theme, right?
Yes,
So these
yes.
are the wines we think, and most people do, that these are great Thanksgiving food pairings. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned earlier, it's very unfashionable even outside of France. I mean, outside of the Beaujolais region, Loire Valley makes a little bit, but nobody else is really testing that. And the same thing, even outside of France itself, Australia has and New Zealand, I think, are trying to do something. California has few examples, and it's really Oregon that's starting, to make some actually very nice examples of the wine, but still relatively few overall examples.
Right. Oregon's mostly known for Pinot Noir, so this is,
Yes, yeah.
this is exciting. Something
Yeah, yeah.
different,
I
right?
have a call the show is that Oregon is not a one-trick red wine pony anymore.
Yeah.
So
It's got two tricks. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of great wine in Oregon. So,
Yeah, especially
yeah.
Willamette Alley. So we got our usual map. Uh, you guys
Let's zoom in.
zoom in. Let's zoom in. We got, so this is Willamette Valley, and right in the middle of the circle is Ribbon Ridge, where Aris is based. So there's a lot of appellations surrounding that, and it's a tiny appellation. You barely see it. It's like in yellow. So that's where the producer is based. So
Okay, thanks for zooming out.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Oregon is definitely known for its Pinot Noir as red grape. Um, there's a thought in Oregon, that the vines that struggle the most, kind of give the most complex wines, be it Pinot Noir, or in this case Gamay Noir. And Oregon also has a reputation for having a lot of idiosyncratic and kind of individualistic winemakers.
Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of walk to their own beat. Very rustic, non-corporate, or everything's becoming more and more corporate. But there's still a lot of family wineries.
Small independent
Yeah.
wineries, and because of that, they have the freedom to kind of do what they want.
Yeah,
Okay.
do things their own way.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
And there's still relatively few Gamays made in Oregon. The ones that are made, they're typically fruitier and bigger than the Beaujolais versions. But yeah, Eris is considered one of the very best ones.
Yeah, cool. I'm excited to taste it. Is it time for us to taste it yet?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
great.
it is.
I did not start early today for some reason, so I have
Alright.
to actually taste it live and come
For
up
the
with
first time?
tasting notes. Yeah, I don't like to do that.
Well, typical notes before I even taste it, I would say it's cherry, high acidity on the wine, pepper, and it's very fresh. That's a typical just general notes. I mean, this wine's gonna have more specific fruit flavors.
Yeah, so we did look at tasting notes from the winery's website, and I just wanted to read some of them because they were adorable. So the winery's website said it tasted like smashed cranberry, forest after rain, which by the way I love the way things smell after rain.
Yes.
Juicy mulberry. I mean, I don't know who I've ever seen descriptor forest after rain as a tasting note, but I thought that was great. But tasting this, yeah, absolutely, it's fruit forward. Not too fruit forward, but it's got some cranberry to start with, is what I mean. Some cherry, lavender, white pepper. I would say like some rose poppy flavors, which when I say that I mean kind of like herbally floral.
Yes.
And I think some blood orange is probably
Yes. Yes. A blood orange. So I
yeah.
would say smashed cranberry makes sense to me. Forest floor too. Blood orange. Mulberry. I'm not really even sure what mulberry tastes like, so
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
have to
know.
take their word for it. But
Yeah. So
but the other flavors, they're there, and nice acidity and extremely fresh. I mean, I think the freshness really what pops out to me. So tart, red fruit, and freshness.
yeah, and white pepper. And I think usually when you see white pepper as a tasting note, I mean, if you haven't had white pepper in terms of cooking, then it's very different than black pepper.
Yeah.
Black pepper is stronger. White pepper has a much more milder flavor. So I think that's why white pepper is probably good. Cool.
Yeah. So just a couple of things about Gamay in Oregon. Um, a lot of the producer will make it. So I read that there's about like 30 out of 500 Oregon producers who make Gamay.
Hmm.
And obviously, those who make it, they love the grape. But they're saying one of the reasons that Oregon doesn't want to dedicate more land to Gamay grapes is because it takes just as much effort as to make Pinot Noir,
Hmm.
but it doesn't get the same price point as Pinot Noir.
Yeah,
So,
I've noticed that
yeah,
Gamay is an excellent value wine.
yes,
I think that people don't really seem to know about Gamay, but it's generally this wine is $24.99. It's very good.
yeah.
I think
What
it's
Eris is a great producer,
a
yeah.
great producer, so I think it's a good value. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're known, for their Pinots also,
Hmm.
obviously, at a higher price point. So, it's one of these things that, I mean, the reason it's a good value is because the consumer, for whatever reason, either they don't know or they're afraid to try something new, don't want to buy a wine of excellent value, so they overinflate other wines, and at that point, lesser wines start getting higher price points because the demand increases for them.
Right. I think if you've not heard of Gamay and you're shopping for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
wine, you're like, okay, yeah, Thanksgiving Pinot Noir, that sounds like a good idea. But I would give this particular areas Gamay a gander. And in terms of food pairing, because we skipped that, unless
Yeah,
you
well,
want
obviously classic Thanksgiving dishes. I mean, Beaujolais is the classic red wine pairing, so it's made from the Gamay grape.
to. Right.
So you might as well substitute, the Oregon Gamay, and do something, classic and yet unique at the same time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, Pinot Noir and Gamay and what's the other one? They're known as foodie wines. What's the other wine? Pinot Noir, Gamay, and there's another one. I'm blanking on it right now.
red wine.
Yeah, red wine. It's a foodie wine.
Yeah,
Uh,
looking at it too,
and
yeah.
I'm blanking on it. But anyways, those varietals are known for being foodie wines for a very specific reason. I think the acidity levels and a lot of other elements about it. It's a lot lighter. They pair with a lot of dishes, so that's why it's perfect for Thanksgiving. You have a lot of dishes on the table, a lot
Yeah.
of different flavor profiles, and Gamay and Pinot are gonna go with a lot of those dishes, just guaranteed. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have Shannon joined us. So Shannon, what do you guys think? You guys have thoughts on that? I mean, what would you guys pair it with it, or anything else you guys want to add about the grape?
probably going to take her a minute to type, but
Well, so you mentioned Thanksgiving. Middle Eastern dishes are famous for that. Grilled fish. In fact, I think the rule of thumb is it goes well with fatty, lightly salty foods
hmm
or lightly spicy food, and that brings out the ripe fruit and the spice notes of the variety. So that's that's a kind of how pairing works.
right.
You know.
Yeah, and tasting this, I would do baked brie because I like to make baked brie from
Yeah.
scratch. Well, I don't make the brie, but with mushroom and herbs, and also like a chicken tagine with a little bit of spice. I
Yes.
think would go really great with this dish. So,
Yeah.
all right. She says she loves gamay. Yes, yes. Well, with turkey, she likes white wine.
Yeah, yeah, a part of the theme. Yeah, and a lot of the in Portland, they actually 3 years for 3 years now they have I Love Gamay Day. It's
Okay.
becoming popular. Here in Alameda County, I know for years they had like Petit Sirah, I think, day, right?
Okay.
So yeah, Gamay is becoming more popular in Oregon, and I think it's a win for somebody who's looking for something more adventurous.
Right. Yeah, and it's fresh, definitely. Soft and acidity. Those are all kind of qualifiers for foodie wines. Well, I think we can't talk
Yeah.
about Thanksgiving wines. I don't mean to rush you. You got
No,
anything
no,
else?
no, no. Go ahead. Yeah,
Well, we can't talk about Thanksgiving wines without mentioning Beaujolais Nouveau because it
yeah,
is such a
yeah,
mainstream concept, I think, that
yeah,
everyone's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving, you have to have a Beaujolais Nouveau. Which, first of all, in my personal and humble opinion, I think that it's a bit of a fruit bomb, overly so. I think it's too strong. Well, too strong in fruit forward
yeah,
flavors, and I think it's low in alcohol, a little bit too much. So I don't prefer Beaujolais Nouveau. But it's not to be confused with Cru Beaujolais,
yeah,
which is far different and far superior.
yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Beaujolais Nouveau, as you were mentioning, I think in more examples than not, it's fermented juice. But it's got mass marketed because it comes out the third week of
Thursday.
of
Yeah, it's
November, so right before Thanksgiving.
annual release. So Beaujolais
Yeah,
Nouveau means young
yeah,
wine,
it's
right? Just
fermented for a
yeah,
couple of months, so
yeah. It's
it's
not even
fermented grape juice.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but Cru Beaujolais. So that comes from the northern part of Beaujolais region, and most of the vines grow on granite soils. So they have a particular makeup that makes them more complex wines. And there's 10 crus of them. There's Bruley, Morgon, Julianas,
Those are the different areas
different
where in Beaujolais where they're
in
grown,
Beaujolais. Yeah.
right? And they have their own unique flavor profiles, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so they have more structure, more tannins, and they typically could age for some time. And depending on the crew, Bruley is typically on the fruitier side, whereas Morgon is considered kind of the most tannic, the longest lived wine. And those wines frequently, you would need to age 3-4 years before drinking them, ideally. So whereas Beaujolais Nouveau, you can they have to be drunk, on the fourth week of
Okay.
November. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Okay, yeah. Awesome. Cool. I
yeah.
just wanted to bring that up because I mean we're talking about Thanksgiving wines. Kind of want to mention the elephant in the room.
Yeah, no, no, Beaujolais associated with Gamay, and Oregon's trying to jump in on the party. So
Yeah, I think this is a great one to try. Eris from Oregon.
Yes.
Just to recap the tasting notes that I saw, I said, I agree with cranberry. I agree with cherry. It's got some lavender, white pepper, kind of like a poppy, rose, herbal, floral flavor, and some blood orange. Very nice, very complex wine. And for $24.99, it's worth trying. Gamay, if you've never tried it before, this one is a good choice.
it's a great choice. It's funny. Side story: the distributor who I got it from, he said, "You got the last case. If you didn't get it, I would have gotten it myself." So we were able to bring in the last case for the store and tasting it. It's delicious.
I know that's kind of dangerous. I like it a lot. I'm like, let's just bring the case home. So awesome.
No, we still have plenty available, guys.
Okay, just kidding, kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Including the classic Beaujolais too. So we got this one, and we got Beaujolais wines. In fact, our wine of the week this week is still Louis Jadot, which is a big negociant. He made a really nice wine for $15. I think it's like a
Okay. What's wine of the week? Is that, do we do a sale? I
it's a
don't even
deal of the
know.
week. Yeah, that's our
Okay.
deal of
I
the
don't
week.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
So Beaujolais is kind of the. I mean, Gamay is the theme of this week anyway. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for joining
yeah.
us. We'll see you next Friday at 9:30 for another Facebook Live wine tasting review. And like we say out here in Walnut Creek, California, Finest Reverie Wine Merchant, we're the best wine store in the East Bay, possibly in the world. But anyways, drink different and have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.